Hello guys, and welcome to part 2 of the forks rebuild. I've got a brand new forks over here, the right size 40, 52, 8, not 10, 8 by 10.5, and that 2mm made a whole difference. It took me 4, nearly 5 days, excluding Sunday, to get them bad boys delivered finally. Sometimes that's just how it goes. Yes, maybe I should have checked, but I ordered the correct ones. Well, I thought I ordered the correct ones, ordered the seals for my model of the bike. I didn't check it. Well, lesson learned for the future. Doesn't matter. They're here now. 4 days bike has been suspended on a piece of wood basically over there, and the forks in a vise, well, one of them anyway, one of them is over there. But I got them all stripped down clean and just ready for the seal replacement. Hopefully it should be a smooth sailing from now on. Let's do this. Right, so first thing I want to do, as always, put some red rubber grease outside and on the inside of that seal. Anything that is basically sliding that rubber against metal, it's good news, I think. You can use probably regular grease, you can use fork oil as well, I guess, but rubber grease, I've got some left over from the previous seals, might as well use the proper stuff. So that's that, and then my thin piece of plastic, and just grease it up with a fork oil, just to ease it up, sliding, you know, back and forth. Let me pick you up so you can see what I'm doing more or less. There we go. So wrap it around, especially on this forks, because it's got this lip over here when a circlip sits to stop the how do you call this device, because you put an air pressure into the forks. And there's another lip over here. It's not only the sharp lip on top of it, but that's actually very sharp. So sliding a seal across that may damage it. Plus, if there's any pitting, any chrome pitting or anything on this, that will protect it for a short period of time once it's traveling down the fork stanchion. So that hopefully should go slide like this, and then just slide it down. You can feel on this little edge over here, it's catching. So hopefully that plastic will stop from happening. Right, once it gets to the very bottom of it, get you down, there we go. Zoom in a little bit. Yeah, I can slide the fork leg up and then remove my little plastic film. Hopefully that'll serve this job, and now it can go in the bin because we no longer need it. See you later, little friend. And now to properly seat that seal in, I'm gonna use, as one of you suggested actually, thank you very much guys, I'm gonna use the old seal that was leaking, and it's got a perfect shape for it. Not only goes directly perfectly square over that seal, but the inside of a lip, you'll protect the top edge of it. So I'm going to use this to seal it in, to seat that properly in. Just like that. Push it down, and then my plastic tube that I cut. Remember this little guy? Back over it, and with fuse of that I will just seat that seal in, pressing it gently. Against the old seal, and once it's leveled, I can check, and yeah, it's all the way down. It's pretty straightforward. The old seal is no longer needed, and that was the part I was struggling on Saturday last time on the previous part. The circlip that gives me extra 2. Drop it down. It gives me extra 2 millimeters that I was missing before. I couldn't fit that circle in for the swearing like crazy over here until I realized what the problem was. The problem was incorrect size of the seals. Not exactly my fault, but I should have checked. Push it in very gently, clips in place, double check. Boom, job done. Once that's in place, that's seal. It's not important to protect this. Sits nicely in. Boom. Job done. Now on this model of V Max, which is 85 to 92, I believe, the Mark 1, we need 450 51 mil of fork oil. It's slightly more on the Mark 2, which is 93 to 2003, 620 cc. The reason for that is Yamaha increased the fork size, the stanchions in diameter. They're slightly thicker, by like, you know, a few millimeters thicker, which obviously increases the capacity, internal capacity of the oil. But I'm running 89 V Max, which is the Mark 1, and by the manual I need 451 cc of oil. So I'm going to measure it up in my little cup over here to be just over 450, and that will do just fine. Now I'm going to put you guys on the floor for just a minute, because I want to take it in one, do it in one shot, show you exactly what I'm doing over here. So yeah, 451 ml of fork oil. Manual recommends 10W thickness, so that's what I'm going for. Fresh, beautiful looking yellow oil. Every last drop in a fork. Now at this stage you can measure the distance. You're supposed to measure it with a fork fully compressed, and there is no internals, no spring or nothing. And this should say, I've got it written down here, the oil level should be 139 mil, 140 mil, for 14 centimeters from the top. Yeah, if you email about it you can measure it, but I go with the actual capacity, the level of oil. It says 451 cc. That's what I'm going to go for. Pump it up a couple of times so it gets all around there, fully extended and down. And if you don't hear any oil, any air escaping in the bubbling, that's pretty good. Right, now we're going to put the internals in there. So I'm going to extend it fully, because once I drop the spring in and all the other guts, the oil will raise, level will raise, so I need to extend it fully. First thing is the spring. The compressed part goes to the top. Beautiful. Now two spaces. The metal kind of spacer washer goes flat on top of the spring. Yeah. And it's kind of another spacer with nylon washer kind of thing. I don't know if it was nylon or plastic or porcelain. I don't know what that is, but it goes basically this way. So the metal sits on top of it. Yep. And there's a tube spacer on the very top. And now is the tricky part, because we need to put the top. And the way I do it, I get my tool that fits inside the cap. The Mark 2, a different Mark 1, it fits this way. Get a cloth and I'm gonna pinch the fork like with my legs like this. There's this much sticking out of the stanchion, so I need to compress all that spring. And what I do, I compress it, try to fit it as neatly as I can, square, and I don't turn my tool, don't turn the cap, I will turn the fork stanchion so it screws on top of the cap over there. As you can see, the thread is very fine over here, so don't stop when you get like 2 or 3 purchases on that. You need to go pretty much all the way through. It's gonna be one motion. I'll lean my body weight on top of that, and as you can see, I turn the fork stanchion. Be careful, don't cross thread it, and be patient with it. It's not fucking easy, especially when the hands are covered in oil. And again, it popped out, but I need to do it again. Yeah, let's have another attempt. Straight down and turn, keeping that pressure on top of that plug. Right, I can feel it's biting now, but don't be tempted to let it go just yet, because it still may spring back. Yeah, now it's nearly all the way up to the seal. I can relax a little bit and actually turn the unit onto the fork stanchion. That's easier. Like that. I'm gonna grab this with the cloth because my hands are covered in oil. Probably should wear gloves to that. Don't do what I do. That's it. Do it tight. We can torque it up to the spec once it's inside the triple tree. That's one fork, beautifully rebuilt. Air is escaping through that hole, but that's quite normal. Once you plug it, nice and smooth. One fork done, the other one is exactly the same. Don't forget to pump up that front brake every time you do any work on the front brakes. Take the calipers off, push the pads back. Don't forget to pump it up before you go for a ride, otherwise you might have a nasty surprise. Well, anyway, fork brace now in place, and we got beautiful forks with no more leaking forks for my V Max, which is a rather good news. I put 7.5, 8 pounds of pressure over here, PSI. The manual says between 5 and 15, I think, or 5.5 and 14 point something, so it's between 5 and 15. I put 7, 8, kind of halfway through. I see how that goes. I may release it a bit more, I may put some more if I need to stiffen them up, but at the moment I need to take it for a spin and see what happens. Right guys, so that was pretty straightforward, apart from the unfortunate event with wrong seals. Who would have thought 2 mil can make such a big difference? But yeah, it does. Things to remember: have a manual with you, torque it up, all the specific, you know, torques, all the pinch bolts everywhere, torque it up to the manual. The very underestimated tool, I'm guilty of it, the torque wrench. I was working without it for many years before, only recently, I have to say, for the last couple of years probably, I'm using it more and more and more, and it was very underestimated in my garage anyway. But it really does take out a lot of the guesswork. You're constantly thinking whether it's tight enough or not, whether it's hard enough. Should you put a little bit more, and then you start stripping down thread and pinching bolts and all that shit. That really just takes the guesswork out of the action, and it's really do recommend everybody should have a decent torque wrench in their garage. Well, anyway, guys, my V Max is getting closer and closer to be back on the road, which is very good news. Very few jobs left to do, and as always, thank you very much for watching. Have a beer, rock hard, and me and my V Max will see you very soon.